Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Flying with Mike. We're taking off again in the Toliss A319. Actually, the Toliss A319-132, which I guess signifies that it has the IAE engines. Um, not sure what all these fancy numbers and all they throw in the uh, back end of them, but hey. We're just going to have fun flying what we have here. And today we are in, and folks, I cannot pronounce the name of the airport. I just won't. I just won't even give it a try. But I can pronounce the country we're in, Slovenia. And I think it's Brnik, how you say this town. Not 100% sure. But I'll at least try that. But we are, like I said, here. I only know of this country in two ways. One, the flight sim. I just happen to love the ICAO LJLJ. But more importantly, about 5 or 6 years ago, we had a exchange student, one of two, and of obviously two separate years. One from Spain, one from Austria. I've told you about the Austrian. Our Spaniard, when he was here, the organization that was sponsoring his exchange, whatever you call it, had a group of kids with it. And one of them, well, she was from this country I had never heard of, Slovenia. Lo and behold, I ended up getting tagged on a flight somehow in Flight Sim to this place called LJLJ, and it was Slovenia. Who'd have figured? So it's kind of stuck. I like flying in here. It's beautiful scenery. I don't care what sim you're in. I mean, just look at that backdrop here. Now, if I turn the other way, it gets kind of, but those mountains are spectacular behind the tower and the terminal. If only ours could be that way here in Illinois. But anyway, we don't live with mountains, so we live with corn. So, and mountains of corn. There we go. Nice little segue there. So, anyway, this is where we are. Adria, we're going to continue on with over to a place called, hang on a second, LEGE is the ICAO, and the name of the airport is Girona Costa Brava Airport. And of course, y'all can have your fun here in Europe because I sure can't pronounce Europeanism. Airports, no, Spanish actually. Had to have some fun there. But it's in Girona, Spain, or Girona, Spain. Again, forgive me if I've started an international incident. It happens. But we're in again the Toliss A319. Yes, that means X-plane. Folks, you're only going to find me flying X-plane. So almost to a point where I'm going to pull it off the slides because it's X-plane 12 or potentially X-plane 11 because a couple of the aircraft I fly do go off that sim. All right, well, I see things are starting to button up, so that means I need to shut up and get in the cockpit. All right, I got a little work to do so we can get that all stopped. And Toliss, open this up, go to the ground services, take them off auto, the 1L door, cargo forward, cargo aft. And if you look down here, you'll see, oh, look, they're all back and open. All right, let me close that for now. So here we are inside. It's a really well done. I love this plane. Still got a lot to learn on it, folks. Namely, right here with how it interacts with the ACARS and the CPDLC. I really don't know or understand any of that. So I need to be schooled big time. Any airlines looking for a pilot that would be willing to teach me all that fun stuff, I'm available. Just don't tell the CEO, my wife. All right. Oh, wait. She might be listening. Darn, cat's out of the bag. All right. Well, anyway, let's get going. Let's pull up the flight today because With this aircraft, we can actually get moving a little quicker than normally. We have not done any of the checklist items yet, so we are going to be bogged a little bit, but not by much, folks. The big thing we've already done, let's come up here. Actually, let's start at the base. Oop, not that base. Well, a little too far out of the base. All right, so we want to make sure the parking brake's on. Our spoilers and flaps, spoilers down, flaps up. Kind of like parking on a drive or parking on a driveway and driving on a parkway. But anyway, engine masters are off and the selector is normal. Let me kind of zoom in so you can see that it's straight up and down for normal. We normally crank up to the left. You know, real Airbus drivers, why would I go to the, I'm sorry, to the right? Why would I go to the left where it says, I think it says crank? Love to know. It always says ignition start on the other side. So to me, crank is the same thing. But anyway, we also want to make sure the radar is off. So it's in the middle, PWS off all the way to the left. Tilt, I always move it up to 5 while on the ground, folks. It's off. It isn't doing anything to anyone. Turn your transponder on, folks. You can punch it up 1 notch to out, reporting off, and either 1 or 2, and you're set to go as long as it's on 2000. VATSIM users, you know this one, 122.8. 12345 is just a frequency I like to throw in there. It was POSCON's Unicom, and I kind of like the uniqueness of it. 12345. 122.95 was another Unicom channel POSCON uses. Plus, I hear it a lot at work with a lot of airlines on it and different entities. So it's a good Unicom channel as well. 121.5 is the emergency channel. All right, in the middle, we want to make sure the landing gear lever's down. Got 3 green. Now, you're only going to see this, folks, if you're powered up. By that, I mean on the batteries, on the external power, on the APU. If you're not on any of those 3 items, guess what? Panel's dark. Okay, and there is one shade of dark here that if you see it, you got to restart. I always restart the sim, but just got to restart because it's somehow there's a little bug that comes up that blanks the screens out. Up to the top, make sure your batteries are dark. I have it always set for turnaround, so the external power's on. That's why it's always powered up. Quickly, I come down, get the strobes to auto, the nav lights. Pick 1 or 2, folks. It's just a different bulb in the wingtips. That's it. And then no smoking on because we're about to fuel. And the lights, however you want them. And then I always turn ground control on. Fuel pumps can come off at this time. Okay, lastly, we do our fire test. Yep. Engine 1. Yep. Engine 2. Yep. All right, so we got good tests on all of that. All right. Now, folks, let's take a look at the flight ahead of us. All right, and we do that here with Sim Toolkit. It's a free utility, folks. Shame on you if you don't have it, but hey, I understand some computers can't run all the stuff on it. Heck, I'm starting to wonder if mine's having that trouble too sometimes. So, hey, Penning B, hey, welcome aboard. Appreciate you coming in for your advertisement there. I hope you have a great day. All right, you gotta, you know, help the little guy every now and then. I don't know why I just did what I did off the screens, folks. That was just silly. Here we go. This is what I wanted to do. All right, so with that, let's proceed into Sim Toolkit here. All right, and basically it loads into this field where you're in either dashboard right here, which looks like this. Once you click flight planning, then from SimBrief or create it, it then brings you to here. Why do I say you should have this? Well, folks, one, you can actually plan the flight right out of here. Two, if you're like me nowadays, where am I going to fly that the audience is going to go, hey, that's a neat place? Or where would they go next, the airlines? Well, there's a flight schedule utility and a few other utilities over here that can really help out. In your logbook, you can actually dig deeper into each one of your flights. How well was the landing? What did the numbers look like? And folks, you can tell a lot by where you landed. Okay, next time I need to offset a little more to the right, so I hit the center line. Back off, speed up a little so I can hit that aiming zone, those big white bars on the runway. Kind of like these guys right here. So, again, really good utility for you. But in the flight planning world, that's where I think it really excels. The landing data outdoes many of them out there. But this part also kicks a little bit of butt. I can pull up the load sheet. We're showing 144 peeps aboard. Or as sometimes I like to say, brave souls that are coming aboard to fly with Mike. They are signing the paperwork right now that I'm not liable for any injuries that might occur. Oh, wait, I said that out loud. I'm not supposed to. Lawyer said don't do that. But the lawyers did say make sure you caffeinate up. All right, so payload will be 31,680 pounds. Sorry, folks, I live in the U.S. That metric thing, yeah, it's a metric thing. 121,673 pounds, and yes, I know that most airlines are metric now. So, bringing us with our fuel load of 14,500, this will be our takeoff. We're going to fly cost index. Cost index takes in what the airline is projecting they need the plane to do on this route, both revenue, saving money, losing money. They bring it up to go faster. That's more fuel, or possibly lower flight altitudes out of better winds. So a lot of factors in their little computers brew away, and then ding, out comes the cost index, 26 or 27 for today. And like I said, 37,000 for the flight. Okay, now also on here I can go to the ATIS, get the ATIS for LEGE if one's available. Well, I don't need it right now, but you get the point. If one was available for here, I could get the ATIS here. But the METAR tells me 310 at 6,000 feet, broken at 8,000. So we're good visibility and ceiling wise, and 1002 on the QNH. Out of curiosity, what is the ATIS reading? OFP, sorry. Let's see, what is the ATIS telling us? Alpha. Departure runway 19. I sure hope that's what we chose. It is. And the arrival 19. Expect the ILS Zulu. I don't know what that is. We'll look at it en route. And transition level 7,500. Now, folks, U.S. guys, this is important. We in the U.S., coast to coast, top to bottom, including almost all of North America, are one transition level. Folks in Europe, city by city, country by country, it can change. Or I shouldn't say city by city, but TRACON to center could change it. So always check that ATIS, because 7,500 here, it could be 5,000 over in Spain. It could be 13,000. Who knows? So always check that, because it will most likely be different. All right, and that's enough said here, folks. Today's departure, runway 30. You can see the field elevation and the heading on the runway. Up here, you can go to weather, you can go to radio freaks. I mean, you got it all right at your fingertip here, folks. 310, there's the same thing we just read here, spelled out a little bit more for those not so aviation savvy. So, and that, by the way, that 1002 for us in the US that don't use the HEPA system, it's 2959 inches of mercury. Okay. Again, differences between one side of the pond and the other. The pond being the Atlantic Ocean. Just a small body of water. All right, let's get away with Sim Toolkit here, and let's get this plane turning and burning, shall we? Hopefully the burning part we won't do. All right, so as I said, we have done the basics, the batteries, the external power, fuel pumps are off. Let's get the aircraft fueling. Actually, it's going to fuel rather quickly. There are ways you can now do this from the EFB, which I really don't trust yet, as well as down here on the radio stack. I trust that more than the EFB, but I just prefer doing it this way. One, because it's faster, and to me, a heck of a lot easier. Come over here to loading, Perfo. 144 peeps. That's simple. Take it all the way over, back it off one. You guessed it. We can only take 145 peeps altogether, so we only have one extra seat. Better hurry. Door's closing. All right, here comes the tough part now. The big thing we're trying to get to is 121.62 or 673. Okay, so I'm going to first zero out our cargo, see where we end up. Pretty doggone, that's as close as we can get, folks. So we apply. Fuel, we need 14,500 pounds. That's as close as we can get. We'll punch the button there. Aircraft is fueled and people loaded. Pretty simple stuff. Okay, get rid of this. Now, the good thing is that means the airplane's fueled, right? Well, you can double check. Make sure your FOB fuel on board is what we just put in, 14.6. Okay, and as the checklist says, we've done our APU fire check. Let's fire up the APU, get those peeps in the waiting lounge on the plane. Okay. Now, I've read places where it only takes 5 seconds and you can kick it to start. I like to see the word flap open. It's doing a lot of computeristic diagnostics on it. And when you get flap open, that also means the flap is open and it's ready to fire up and suck in the air to get the turbine going. Okay, there it goes. And it takes about a minute or so to fire up. I think 30 seconds, one person said. I lean closer to a minute. But folks, if you like the content so far, hey, I'd love you to smash follow, join the many people that are already part of Flying with Mike. If you happen to watch this in YouTube as a rebroadcast of this live stream, hey, join us on the live streams, folks. We'd love to have you aboard, love to interact with you in the chat room. Let us know you're there. And to do so you know when, hit subscribe on the YouTube channel, and then come on over to Flying with Mike and follow us, and you'll be notified by email the next time we're up and flying. Well, that just meant we are available. By being available means, sorry, not available on the market for the ladies. Cockpit lights are set, flap levers, we check speed brakes, we check probe heat is dark in auto, and that means we click the APU bleed. We should see the pack lights go out. There should be no other lights here or in ventilation, and we can start setting for our passengers' comfort. Full flight will go to normal. and kick the fuel pumps on. All right, so now we're actually into the pre-flight. So let me do a couple things here real quick. In the Flight Factor A320, you'll hear them speak back at you, just to let you know. Make sure your lights are dark. I turned ground control on so I can check the CVR, cockpit voice recorder. Tone's good. Cabin purse switch up. And then we come up here. Now I move this over to status first. Pick one. Now we'll go with 2 today. And then go to nav one at a time, looking for on bat and that it goes out. 2. Yep. 1, 2, 3. All right, with those out, let's continue on. Okay, strobe lights are auto. Nav 1 or 2, again, folks, all it is just a different bulb out there. In the real world, if one was out, switch to the other system. Hey, if they come on, you're good to go. Seatbelts, we'll go ahead so I don't forget. No smoking's already on. Emergency lights are armed. Okay, we'll do a light check real quick, as opposed to a sound check. And then down below, all the lights are working. Back up top. Okay, lights are looking good. Oh, where did we leave off at? Landing elevation. Straight up and down is auto. Pack flow is set to normal. And fuel pumps are on. We've done the fire checks. Radio number 3 is on up here. It's just a backup down here. 1 and 2 are both on. Set. And all right, now the fun begins, folks. You're going, what? We've already had a whole bunch of fun. Well, get ready for the fun part of getting the aircraft now ready for flight on the what's called the McDo. And you all can look that up in Google. I have no idea what. All I figure is control display unit, multi. I don't know. You guys can have fun with the I don't know. Oh, don't need that. Let's clear out that. Okay, biggest thing here, make sure the right engine and your nav data is right. Go to the init page. Now, they have done this in Flight Factor as well for the A320. I'm not a big crazy fan of their panel. I'm hoping by going here soon to their forum, I get more help with this question than I normally get from them in getting a better panel. But anyway, we're not in that plane. We're in the A319 with a very good Airbus panel. So they have the same thing, but it's a little faster in Flight Factor. I like it here in ToLis. So we go simply and click init request. Boom, comes the top half filled out with the from to the alternate, and then boom, the rest of it comes in with the perf data update. Clear. Now, I used to just rush, align the IRS, align. No, I can actually go in here, folks, and set right where I am at the gate. Oh yeah, I can hear your intriguement out there, so let me pull up charts. Here's the route, by the way, and I have it set on the VFR chart, just so you get an idea of the terrain we're going to be above. It's flyover country, folks, so, you get all that eye candy when you fly VFR, but when you're in an airliner, you're above it all, folks. Oh, excuse me, sorry, I had to get a drink. So you really don't get to see it. But what I'm going to do here is first hide that just so we get more room here. And I'm going to go to the parking stands. We are sitting in stand 4, and I am not really seeing any cords on this. Let me see, did I get the right chart? Sure didn't. It's this one. All right, so stand 4, here's your numbers. So to set stand 4, 46, 13, and then you use the up-down arrows to go to 8. Again, 13.8. Okay, now to do the longitude, which is east, 14, 27, 3. That's over here. Click on it. That little up-down arrow is now over here. Go down. No, I'm sorry, go up. Oh, wait, it is down. No, it changes. Anyway, I know. Mentally, it should be the down arrow, but I was in the U.S. and it actually had to be the up arrow to go down, which was really weird. So 1427, where are you? 0.3. Look at that. Now you've got the IRS down to the exact point, or very close to, even closer than the central point of the airport. Now click Align. And it's going to align on these numbers. Pretty cool. Took a video to learn that, folks. Not one of mine. Alright, so now wind request. And this will get it for everything in there, folks. All of your flight route or all of your fixes are going to have the winds to them through the climb. Next phase, in cruise. But you can always do it just to be safe. Clear, click, and it'll say the same thing. Next phase, throughout the entire descent. Boom. Okay. So there you go, folks. You've got the initial init page set up. Next step, we go to the F plan page. Now, real quick, our flight number is ADRA 1658. Cost index, they got us really fast. I'm going to rein us in slightly. Flight level 370. Now, I do not know if these two numbers are correct or not. So, just a warning ahead of time. If you use the United 18 operational flight plan format in SimBrief, that's where all of this is pulling from, folks, is SimBrief. It will give you a tropo and all of this. This is under the American Airlines one. I just like it because at the very bottom, Virtual American has put what your loadout is and all of that good stuff, because you don't find it in there. The only one that gives you all of that is Lido, which is when you come into SimBrief, boom, that's the one. All right, so we've got this part done. So yeah, that's how all of this is being pulled from SimBrief, which is a free NavGraph, free from NavGraph up there. Just get a user ID, folks. It's great for flight planning, especially airlines. VFR, it works, but you're going to fly mostly airways. You're not going to fly, you know, how you want. Take a left at the stadium, then over to the gas station that Jerry owns. We'll take a left there and then a right in Albuquerque and hopefully not get lost before Palm Beach. But anyway, you're not going to be able to do it that way, folks, but it will go fix to fix or point to point, however you want to do it. Okay, so let's move on here. We're going to the flight plan, or F plan. And look at that, it's already loaded in. As I've been told on other streams who say they're real and I believe they are, real Airbus pilots, when they download from the airline, it doesn't come in with SID, stars, or runways. Makes sense, folks. These flight plans, I would assume, could be 2, 3, 4 hours old, maybe even longer. And the weather changes, you know. I mean, just look outside here in St. Louis, 70s yesterday, today 50s. Cloudy and dropping temperatures even more, with a hint of winter coming. It changes, folks. So we go in and then take our current data and go from there. Let me show you what I mean here. So I just got rid of what I did not want to get rid of. Okay, so on charts, okay, so again, we're in LEGE. Now, let's kind of come up here. I'm going to go ahead and bring this out again. What kind of a departure? We're going to go off runway 30. That is the way the winds are. Just making sure, yeah, 5-knot crosswind, 0-knot headwind. I mean, it sounds pretty calm. Okay, so what we can do here is click departures. Well, it doesn't look like we have any. And by the way, we're not scheduled for one. Pretty simple stuff. So, cancel, and they go away. So up here, it's already selected runway 30. All right, so we clear this, go to the top, click LJLJ, departure, 30, no SID, insert. So we'll still have a discontinuity. Now, what I'm going to do is click this to plan, get rid of charts. I think, let me see, will it be in the way? Yes, it will. All right, so say goodbye to charts. And what we'll do is start stepping through. As we come to a discontinuity, we'll look. So there's one already. We know that needs to go. And insert. Okay, so that cleared up that. Could have left it, but I'm going to clear it because when we take off, we're going to be basically at 400 feet or there above. Start our turn to get on course to RIFEN. And as we step through, Boeing guys, you know, it's go to plan, click step on your FMCs. Here, click the up arrow. And you can see where it's beginning to center on it. And we're just going to look for any really bad, like we put in the wrong, say we put in Janju and accidentally typed Janji, fat-fingered. Guess what? That's going to either say not there or be several hundred to several thousand miles away. So we could then correct it by seeing how it looks on our flight. On the really long flights, folks, this comes in real handy. Because believe me, it's so easy to mess up. All right, now charts get to come back up, because we are going to have an arrival. All right, so you can see we're going to come to BGR. We're going to come up here to Banal. I don't know what this looks like yet, folks. And then into LEGE. Reference point here, our alternate is right here, LEBL. For those that don't know, that's Barcelona. One of the two really big names of Spain. Three. So, Madrid, Barcelona, and wherever they race the cows through the, well, I'm sorry, the race of the bulls through the streets. Oh, sorry about that, folks. Needed the coffee. All right, so what we'll do here, let's first take a look at the Bagur 4 Fox arrival. Okay, so like it says, we're going to go right up here and then right on down, and according runway 19 will be, so we're going to be coming in probably right on it. Cool. All right, so let's go over here, hit the chart thing, approach, and what was, hang on, I'm going to check something real quick on the METAR here, folks. They wanted us on the Zulu. Okay. Again, welcome to Why Sim Toolkit. Is such a great tool to have aboard your plane. Okay, for flight guys, I get it. All right, so and I'm at the same time going to click this pin, and that puts it down here. Although I'm going to actually not do that. I'll show you why I don't in just a second. All right, so we're going to do the ILS. So we go to LEGE, arrival, ILS 19 Zulu. I don't remember seeing. Hang on. Did you all see that? A Zulu? Oh, there's Yankee. It said Zulu, so we'll do the Zulu. BGR4F, that's what looks good. Hang on. I'm getting ahead of myself here, folks. What are we talking? Oh, coming right off panel. So this will be a straight in. And no transitions, I don't think, for us at Bangor. Nope. Sir? All right. So we come off Bisba. Here, we'll back up one. Go down to back up Bisba. BGR is next. Okay, as you see it over here on the chart. Oh, wait. I can't do both at the same time. We'll go up to Banal. And then over to the ILS. Magso and right on in. Perfect. All right. Oh, you don't have the charts up to see it. My bad. We'll show it in a second here. All right, so we're at BGR. And it all looks good. This is our missed approach. Now, if we want, here is our, we got to go to the alternate. Boom, you can fill that in. That actually comes in easy to read on the American format. Therefore, when it generates the flight plan, it really is right up at the top. Boom, boom, put it right in. I'm going to hold off on that. Okay. So for all intents and purposes, and again, click, 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 and there we're at LEBL. All right, now I wanted to show you something here with charts real quick. We'll take the few seconds. All right, so we know we're going to do the, this is Yankee, Zulu. Okay, so we're going to be coming up this way to Banal, and then we're going to enter straight down into it. So we're going to kind of curve down onto the ILS. Pretty simple. Now, let's go back up here, get rid of this. What I'm starting to like about this, it's taking a lot for me to get into because I really could use the other one really, really well. Just taking a little bit to get used to. Okay, so there's all of our different approaches. Now we're on the Zulu transition panel. Hit add to route. Look at that. Puts it right on your route. Done. Even again gives you your cross, your headwinds, all that good stuff. Look how easy. I mean, it really is. It just takes time. That a lot of people, hey, I'm going to give it to you. I understand. I don't have time to learn these things. Well, how'd you learn your airplane? But anyway, don't mean to be rude or crass, just saying, how'd you learn your airplane? Or did you? Or do you fly it autopilot and always auto land? Because we try to land if we can. If I can see the runway, I go for it. I'm going to start getting more brazen in my part, folks, and starting to try. I'm in the clouds. I always have troubles with that. And I'm beginning to set panels to where I'm only able to see the panel and not the clouds to get me all, the outside to get me all screwed up. And I can already hear that's what you're supposed to do to learn. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and close out charts, folks. Okay, we just put the flight plan in. Let's get moving along here. RadNav. All we're doing is making sure everything looks good here, and it does. And you're going, oh, how do you know? Because it does. Hated that from my parents, but guess what? It's true in this case, because it does. Okay, now we need to put in the loading information. So we come down here, right arrow, puts us on the what's called init B Bravo page. Now what I like to do here is bring back up ToLis and that ISCS screen. Okay, now I can do my runway planning here. We'll use that as a backup here in a second. What I'm wanting to see is, okay, our zero fuel weight in tons, 121.7, cool. Zero fuel weight, 28.6, cool. Fuel, 14.5 works for me, because I think that's our minimum, our takeoff fuel. All right, that all looks good. Our 5% looks good, 30 minutes there. Everything looks good number-wise. So now we could push to the perf page. Now, some interesting things are on this page. You're all going, what's that at the bottom? Exactly. I can click here, TO data request. Go over here to received. Now, if I want to flex the takeoff, meaning I want to reduce the power in the takeoff. Now, by reducing, folks, I'm not saying going from 100% to 50%. I'm saying the aircraft could a lot of times go at about 105 to 107%, all out, nothing interceding in it. 107%. Boeing is really good at showing that, folks, in their perf pages. Okay. No, what we're going to do here is pull back that power at least into the 90s, sometimes even into the 80s, depending on the length of runway, weather conditions, height of, above sea level, below. There are requirements to be able to flex into knot or toga. As the online Airbus pilots say, read the FCOM. I don't have an FCOM, so I don't have that to read. Would really love you to help us out there, boss. Oh, he's a good guy, though, that I listen to a lot, so. All right, but you're starting to see the page formulating here. V1, VR, V rotate. This actually is toga, folks. I forgot, how long is our runway? Oh, we got 10,800 feet. We're 1,200 feet above sea level. So it's almost 1,300. Let's go ahead and flex it. All right, so it changed. You saw the numbers change up. Now, the V1, V rotate rarely change. But we could put our wind in here, folks. I don't even know if we have a wind. I'll be totally honest. Hey, guess what? Sim Toolkit to the rescue. Current weather details. Wind 310 at 6. 31006. Dry. We could change that if we knew we had a wet, damp, or contaminated, I don't know the specifics in changing that, but you could. And there's our projected flex temperature. Okay, so before I do this, folks, now there's one thing I don't see that I can put in here that I can put in over here on the page. Slope. I can get the slope, from Sim Toolkit. Back to runway parameters, and I show a slope of 0.767. 767 drivers, do not attempt this airplane. They got your numbers on the slope. No, just kidding, folks. I'm going to leave it at 0. Because I really don't know. I think this way's negative. Yeah, see, it's not even saying. All right, so, but you have to have a runway selected in here. Once you have that, this becomes active. We're going flaps 1 plus, it's 1 plus flap. Active flap plan. Use of toga, no. Now, if you notice, it's showing a flex 1 degree less. It's also showing CG slightly different. Up 0.4, up 0.4, so I'm okay with that. And now, if I wanted, here's if I go max takeoff, which is toga, it changes. Okay, and I can do packs on. Packs on, packs off. Oh, and the numbers are changing as we speak. I'm going to insert. So we're going to flex at 56 or 66. Transition level seems high. Hang on a second. I thought I read something that we're actually... oh, that was, never mind. Never mind. I'm wrong airport. I'm thinking the other one. But I am going to verify. And I'm glad I did. It's 10,000. And I'm actually going to, you know what? This would be a good time. I'm going to showcase one of those real Airbus pilot pages. Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of this for the moment. Bear with me 1 second here. I'm going to make sure the page comes up. If it doesn't, I don't want to put egg on my face that I already have. All right, give me a second. Where are you? Black box 77 or 711 LJLJ. And if he has a page, it will come up. All right, it is. Okay, so bear with me a second here, folks. Let me get back to the main page. And are you going to be slow? There we go. All right, well, that's not very helpful. Let me make that a little bigger of a box here, folks. All right, hopefully that's readable to you. Get rid of that. Okay, on his page, you're going to see a couple of things. Transition level. Look at that, 10,500. It doesn't match up there. So, 10,500. We can change that. I actually could have probably seen that on the other page. All right. The other thing you can see is the thrust reduction acceleration and engine out acceleration numbers. Getting a little more real world here now, folks. Okay. For runway, 2300 across the board. Whoops. Sorry about that, folks. I accidentally clicked in the wrong spot. So 2300 slash 2300 takes care of those numbers. Now you'll also see below them engine failure, and up here it will say engine out acceleration. We're runway 30, so it's 2,900 feet, or A319-132 Boom. Just an extra flavor into the realism box here by putting those numbers in, helping the aircraft more articulate, hopefully, the hopeful goal, more the real world. Can't promise that, folks. Wish I could, but I can't. Be gone, browser. All right, so that, folks, takes care of the flight. Now, you could set up a secondary if they were to change to 1-2 or an engine out or something to that effect. So all you do is go to the secondary flight plan, activate it, boom, you're on it. We're not going to do that on this flight. I will here eventually. I'm working on other flights, folks, to learn this, get more perfected with it, so I understand exactly what I want to do with it. V1 Simulations is one of the big names, folks, that's taught me a lot about this aircraft. Black Box has helped a little bit. His website there really helps a lot for me in this part. I don't fly Europe, so it's a lot, we're not flying it a lot, so it's hard to acclimate. So that's where all of this knowledge comes from, thanks to those two gentlemen. A couple of others that poke their head in here from time to time in the real world. We actually do have a cargo pilot that pops his head in from time to time, flying 767s, telling me how wrong I'm doing things. No. That's a given, folks. If Captain flying with Mike's in the captain seat, guarantee this ain't going to be a flight that's going to be flown real world. But anyway, so that takes care of the McDo, folks. So we're left with closing up the plane, and we're ready to go. I'm going to, at the same time, be getting my ACARS system going, and then we'll come back and finish up getting the plane going. I don't show this side off a lot, as it sometimes takes a lot, especially the takeoff I could have done, because it works more off of what's in the flight sim. For instance, we did the flex. Let's see what it came up with. It's not far off, folks. But it gives you a good visual. So, all right, we'll leave it at that. All right, so let me get the ACARS program. I don't like firing it up until I'm ready to go. One of them that I use for another VA will actually get you rejected if you do it and fuel the plane on the ground. So I'm just, cautious and don't even fire it up until then. Till we're fueled and pretty much ready to push back. And sometimes I've already pushed back and forgot and then fire it up. Don't get gigged too hard on that. So I hope y'all had a really good weekend. I know it's been a little bit. I've been putting some videos out at the YouTube channel, folks. So hang on a second. So, sometimes I do put some content out there on the YouTube channel I don't do over here on Twitch. So sometimes it's not a bad thing to go over there and check that. All right, we're getting close here, folks. Okay, everything's there. The only reason I don't show this too much, folks, is it won't let me show a Dropbox opened up. So that's why you don't see it. It's kind of silly to see, why is it not doing anything? Oh, it just loaded something. That's why, folks. Okay, we're going to fly 37. That's a good flight plan. Start. Okay. All right, it is up and running. Okay, let's get outside the plane one more time. Yeah, I know, can't control that part. Look at this spectacular scenery one more time, folks. Man, whew, that is spectacular. Okay, back into plane. All right, let me show this off a little bit down here. All right, so you've got a couple of buttons here. MECH, mechanic, ATT, attendant. Mechanic, I can come off external. Let's do something first. We're going to actually start using it. Okay. We're already on the APU. Seatbelts are on. All right, so now we'll come back down. Give me a chance to zoom back in. Mechanic, I'm going to come off the external power. Click this plus sign a couple. And we're going to close the cargo doors. We'll wait for them. They usually close up first, folks. Now you see the doors are closed. Okay, now we're going to click the attendant button. I can close them here. And again, it's going to do the same thing. Okay, doors closed. Once we push back, we'll do the armed doors and cross-check. Next page would allow me to load it. You know, I'm going to try this on another flight. We're going to try loading it there and see if it brings them on like the 747-200 in their little onesie-twosies and take forever to get on the plane. Just kidding, folks. But I do have fun with that. Okay, we'll put that on F plan. Give me a second here. Let's check this real quick. Okay, we are ready. Let me pop this back to ARC. All right, let's go through the checks here and get this thing ready to go. Altimeters. Current shows 1003. Okay, I've got it set up so they're synced. All right, next up, flight directors, both on. LCU, both on. Or LS, my bad. Go to constraints. I'm real bad about going to airport or one of these others, so forgive me, folks. Okay, so speed is managed, heading is managed, altitude we need to set. And we're going to go straight up. Okay. And our ADF and VOR 1 and 2 are set, both sides. Okay, moving on. We need the anti-skid and the nose wheel steering. That is this switch here. Make sure it's on. Switching panels. They're right down here. Make sure they're all 12 o'clock. Transponder. Set. Okay, and finally the beacon on. Time for better pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
Actually, stand by. I'll be right back to it. Reason being, I want to make sure I come out of here in the right way. So on 30. So push back face. Okay.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
All right, and we're just waiting on them. I'll pull the chocks here as soon as they're close by. They're probably in the building because, you know these women drivers these days, folks, they just all of a sudden just think, yeah, what's a building? See? Sorry, couldn't resist, folks. All right, let's get those chocks off. Now she's going to give us a ride. Of course, make sure your parking brake's on. And all we're doing?
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
All right, she is hooking in and we'll be ready to push here momentarily. While she does that, I am checking to make you, well, that'll kind of, let me see. That'd be easier on this one. All right, go to live map. Am I on the map? Oh, okay. Sometimes they really put us in some funky places here on these live maps, and that's why I gotta scroll down to look.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
All right, folks, here we go.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Maybe. Chalk's still in? Oh, there she goes. Like, well, why weren't we moving right off the bat? All right, we're going to hold just a little bit here. No, excuse me, folks. Wait for it to start its turn. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Pull the jetway away. Oh, well. All right. Here we go. Engine start, folks, is real easy. Move it over to start. I'm going to start number 1 today. Sorry, I came up quickly here, folks. I thought we were about to stop.
Complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
All right, parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Boy, that is a beautiful shot, folks. Okay, we see a veil here, folks. That means we can start up number 2. Again, all we do start it up. That's it, folks. Pretty corporate pilot-ish. Just a couple of switches and we're on. And we let it do the rest. Not like before where you hit the starter, wait for 20%, hit the fuel, let off the starter. Yeah, no, it's put it in start and off we go.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
And I'm just waiting for the word avail over here on the number 2. And she's already generators or automatic. All of that happens automatically, folks. That flicker was the switch over. There's avail. Countdown on the timer started. All right. So we go to the top. APU bleed off. Then we go to the bottom. Too far again. Spoilers armed. Flaps to 1. Verifying. Flaps 1F. Okay, pitch trim. I go ahead and click the FCTL and basically brings up your control surfaces. And we need to be up 4 right here. THS is UP up 0.4. And I think that's this way. And it tells you on the gauge here, folks, digitally, up 4. Okay, while we're here, left aileron, go to the right. Might as well get it while you're at this point, folks. It makes things so much easier. Okay, now the flight factor, and from what I understand, the real one, hang on, I'm just getting them finished up. You can actually test the rudder without the nose gears, you know, taking you all for a ride. Here, let me get over here. I'll show you. What you would do, here's your tiller. This is how they steer the aircraft. Left, you know, you move it this way or you move, here, I'll show you. Oh, it doesn't move. Dang it. In the flight factor, it does. Well, this button right here, oh, there, you see it moving? I think I just screwed it up. Find out when we move. Anyway, that's what you would be checking. All right, so everything was good there. We'll go back to release that. And then up here, we have a mini checklist. Auto brakes, cabin, and takeoff. All right, first off, auto brakes, no brainer. Okay, how do you know the cabin's ready? All you do, go push one of the 2. And look, it's green. And then you make the airplane take a test. And we'll be back, because it takes most of us a couple of days to take, oh wait, it's done already. Makes us a couple days to take a test, it's done in seconds. All right, and we're coming up on our 3-minute time, so let's kind of step up the pace. Off with the APU. Slides. Here we can do the slides. And no, folks, we're not talking the electric slide. Okay. Moving on down, nose wheels, lapse time, run. And we are ready to go. I hope that hasn't deflected my rudder. Okay, I'm just going to do a couple checks here real quick. Okay, rudder looks good. And yes, those of you that know how to adjust sensitivities and all in here, ooh, I went one too many on the flaps. You may have to, because boy, it'll turn on a dime on you if you're not careful. All right, FMA nav climb, we're good. Takeoff, we're good. Let's get those lights on. Brnik tower, Adria 1680 will be ready at the end. Roger, line up and wait. Adria 1680. Little froggy here. Okay. Again, I hope you all had a great weekend. I know it's been since, Thursday was our last stream. So again, that YouTube channel, folks, sometimes I fill in these big gaps with just YouTube content. Makes it easier to just do it on YouTube. That, and I sometimes don't have the troubles I have on streams. Not to say that it doesn't come to just doing it that way, because I had some. And, well, we did the best we could with what we had. Adria 1680 copies. On departure, direct RIFEN, left turn to RIFEN. Climb to flight level 370. Adria 1680. Okay, that's always good news. Let's get our chronos ready. Okay. And all right, let's do quick takeoff run here. All right, so we'll start the chronos, brakes will release, throttles to flex or toga. We're going flex. And again, the numbers in the box, 149, I missed it, folks. Sorry, we're turning. I'm sorry, 136, 136, and 140. Okay, strobes on. All right, here we go, folks. Okay, lights on and we're going. Chrono is not on. There we go. Coming up 50%. Here we go. $80 knots.
V1 rotate, V2. Gear up.
Make our turn out. Come down with the nose a little, get that as close. Now I'm not gonna really pitch it over hard. All right, and direct. All right, there we go. Turning on course. Flaps can come up finally. All right, and there we go. Hope you enjoyed. All right, and into the clouds we go. Okay, fine. 10,000. We're going to nose over, and she's going to accelerate somewhere between 290 and 330. It's set in the computer, so it'll do that for us. We just cross transition. So all we do is click, and we get standard, and I like to just verify. And I always love to look at the wings and the clouds, folks. Alright, and altimeter lights, yeah, lights can come off. Alright folks, we're on our way. And according to Sim Toolkit, an hour and 41 minutes currently at 14,000. We'll see. It's only a hour flight once we get up to altitude, so hopefully things go a little better for us. So folks, we're on our way. Gonna run a little bit of music in the background, and hope y'all enjoy. And I, folks, need to get a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. Alright folks, that went a little longer than I'd anticipated. Sorry, had to hit the restroom. Alright, so, well, let's see, where are we? Well, we're high above Italy. Or as the sergeant in stripes said, Italy. Welcome to Italy. Holcomb, that is. And we're approaching the top of climb. That is indicated by the arrow here. And we'll have a flip-flop of that for our top of descent. Alright, let me push this out. Now, one thing my checklist doesn't do well is go through getting the radars on. And so forth. So it does say to get the terrain on, which I now have on, but it didn't say anything about the radar, which is fine. Let's push out to 80 for now, which gives us about 100 and, well, no, this gives us 80 miles. Boeing, it would be pushed almost to 160 miles. I think that's what 80 does on it, so. Alright, so we are coming into top of climb. And as expected, we're at 1 hour and I think about 10 minutes. Just checking something here. Live map, loading the live map has been a little bit of a problem here in this version 1. Oh, disregard. It loaded. I don't know what that was all about, but it finally loaded for me. Alright, unless there was an update that I didn't catch, that as soon as I restarted, it took it. So, alright, so we are up and running. And Europe is coming alive, folks. I mean, granted, it should be. I mean, this is what we would call in the States prime time for TV. Most of your big name shows would be on at what is on your clock, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. So I understand we're in the prime time when most people will be getting home, just finished eating dinner, have some free time, hop on, be controllers, be pilots. So it's really flooded with VATSIM, folks. That's why I'm not on VATSIM, and it's no slight to you guys. I don't want to be a person that gives problems because of not understanding languages, or dialect, or not dialect, what's the word, phraseology, I guess would be it. I don't know. But anyway, this way we can just continue on. They can have an enjoyment of theirs. We're enjoying it just like this. And we'll get there in about an hour or so. So, hope you enjoy the flight. We'll keep the music going till we're getting close to landing. Then we'll sterile up the cockpit and get ready for it. So enjoy the ride, folks. All right, so I love this song. Real good bass line in it. Sorry, folks, used to play tuba, so. All right, folks. If I may indulge a few seconds of your time. You noticed I put our verse of the day up there. You saw it in the opening screens that we did to the opening of the stream. And, you know, this is one of those verses, folks, I really love. And Phil Ware over at Verse of the Day wrote these thoughts on today's verse that I call a devotion. And you know what? Wow. What words, what comments and thoughts he had on this. And I have to agree with him 100%. So here's the verse again that you see over there. It's Colossians 1:16. For by him all things were created in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities, all things, that's right, folks, all things were created through him and for him, him being Jesus. I mean, folks, this whole verse is saying simply Jesus is Lord. I mean, he is Lord over everything in creation, and nothing in creation ranks above Jesus. Everything is below Jesus in authority and power. Every angel, every demon, every spirit is subservient, to Jesus. Now, their purpose and the purpose of everyone in creation and everything in creation is to honor and serve Jesus. Now, even though the demons have chosen not to honor and serve Jesus as Lord, their rebellion doesn't change their actual purpose or alter the truth that Jesus triumphed over them. And he showed his superiority over them through his crucifixion, his death, and his resurrection. I mean, Colossians 2:12-15, having been buried with him in baptism, in which you were also raised with him through faith in the powerful working of God, who raised him from the dead. And you, who were dead in your trespasses and the uncircumcision of your flesh, God made alive together with him, having forgiven us all our trespasses. Verse 14 goes on and says, by canceling the record of debt that stood against us with its legal demands. This he set aside, nailing it to the cross. He disarmed the rulers and authority by putting them to open shame, by triumphing over them in him. Folks, that's just amazing. With its vast expanse of magnificence, the universe was made by Jesus to declare his supremacy. And when Jesus returns in his glory, Philippians 2:10 through 11 says it all, folks. Every knee will bow in heaven and on earth and under earth. Every tongue acknowledging that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of the God the Father. Now, saying Jesus is Lord doesn't necessarily mean that we have yielded our lives to his will, trusted in his grace. But it does mean we should recognize this truth. Jesus is Lord. And yield our lives in obedience before he returns in his glory. So therefore, God has highly exalted him, bestowed on him what Philippians 9 through 11 again says. I can't say this enough, folks, that exalted him and bestowed on him the name that is above every name, so that every name of Jesus, every knee should bow in heaven and on earth, under the earth, every tongue confessing that Jesus Christ is Lord. And I'll finish, folks, with that last statement in that verse, to the glory of God the Father. Phil War, again, at Verse of the Day, wrote this thoughts on today's verse, and really a good job. And I hope it resonates with you and makes you really think, folks. Jesus is Lord. All right, folks, we are somewhere around 50 minutes or so out. Let this let that devotion kind of sit in a little, and we'll be back with you in a couple of minutes here. We'll talk through the arrival, then set up for the arrival. The McDo is already set and ready to go. We just need to take a look at it, see what the parameters and all are of our approach, and we'll be at the top of the descent, starting in on it. And Mega Bit Egg, welcome aboard. Thank you for following. Our pleasure. Hope you enjoy the rest of the stream and the other streams to come. Tomorrow we're flying in the U.S. out of Philadelphia. The schedule will show the routing, and hope you can join us for that. Again, thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. All right, folks, we're getting pretty close here. We're about 200 miles out. Let me pull up the arrival here so you all can get a feel for what we're... it's not really anything complex into this airport here, LEGE. I think I still have, I still have our departure airport up here. All right, you can see we're about halfway there. And right about in here is where we'll start our top of descent. So, all right, so let's pull it up here. So the arrival is called the Bagur 4 Fox arrival, BGRF or 4F, up here in the top. It is an RNAV for runway 19. SLP on here will mean speed limit point. I think that means we have to be below 250. A long time since I've dealt with these, so bear with me as I get back in the groove here of European flying. All right, DIATIS is up here. Again, it's like the US. There's a website out there somewhere, and folks, feel free to share with us over in our Discord channel what that website is, and so that way we can use it as well abroad. There is one for the US. It's diatis.clows.something. So, but anyway, let us know. I'd love to be able to go there. I'd love knowing what is ahead of us, especially, folks, when we do long hauls. You're tired. You want to get things set up ahead of time. Even though, yes, VATSIM can throw a wrench in it and say, nope, we're going to go this way. At least you have it set up for real world. All right, so from there, 469 feet above sea level. Yeah, we're right by the med. And finally, here's the different approaches. And of course, transition level set by ATC. If we go to the ATIS, which I'll show here on Sim Toolkit here in a minute, it'll tell us what that transition level is. By the way, it's 7,500 feet. But anyway, here's the rest of it. Down here is the procedure. I don't remember seeing no textual instructions. So we come to Bangor, head up to Banol, and really, folks, for this approach, we're done. We then transition to the ILS Zulu. So bear with me here. I'm going to switch screens here and go over to Sim Toolkit. And real quick, you can see we got about 45 minutes to go as we track along here. Just passed over a pretty good storm system. And down here we can click Navgraph, which brings up exactly what we just saw. It's all laid out, except we're going to do one thing slightly different. Let's go back to flight summary. Come over here to LEG, actually right up here. Oh, the ATIS is gone. Dang it. It was there earlier. But we could have gotten it. I think it's because it's actually not on VATSIM now. Alright, but anyway, real quick look at the weather. Hang on, and I'll do a quick switch-a-roo here. There we go. That's LEGE, right? Why do I have EGE? I'm a good typist, folks. That's why. All right, here we go. So that'll sneak through every now and then, and I'll give you all the weather too. All right, there you go. So here's the weather, real easy to read. 106, 19's pretty good, variable. And since it's so light, we're going to go ahead with the tailwind. And 10,007 or 1,007 on the millibars. All right. Back to our chart. Actually, let's go back here real quick. Okay, and now we'll go to nav graph. Let's go to the Zulu, and come on, there we go. All right, so we'll come to Banal and intercept 194, straight in for the runway. All right, across the top again, we have a D8, so if you know how to get to that, let us know. I would love to hit that website. The approach tower and ground across the top. Excuse me for my voice. Okay, localizer is IGN. Hang on a second. Yeah, I'm doing some things in the background real quick. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, so localizer IGN, and it's 109.9. Automatically done in the McDo. We don't have to worry, just have to verify. Trust, but verify. Final approach course 194. Now, distance 6.1 from our localizer IGN. We need to be at 2,500 feet and on the glide path. Right here, although no reference point to the airport other than, oh, excuse me folks, 6.1 DME. All right, and we'll refer to the minimums down below for the DA and the DH. Missed approach, you've got the information here that you can read. And here's the requirements. They're saying 6,000, but we know it's 7,500 from an earlier ATIS. But we could go with 6,000, folks. It's, you know, it's not going to really hurt us. All right. Now, we're not flying the part that requires us to pay attention to this. We're flying pretty much direct to Banal and then join in. Okay, now the meat and potatoes. Again, like I said, we're going to fly Banal. That's 13 miles out on the localizer. Track in on 194 past Nagsel. 6.1, 3.9. And then Girona is not on the airfield, so that's why you see the disparity. It's like about a mile or so disparity. And we got high terrain, as you notice, to the west of the field. So a little bit of I kind of picked a pretty decent place to come into, didn't I? All right, so again, we're coming here, folks, 4,500 feet. We're going to transition down to 3,600 feet to 2,500 feet. More than likely, we'll grab the glide slope, but we have to be on the glide slope here at 2,500 feet. Follow it down for the runway. Now, for the approach today, it's usually around 130, 135 for our approach speed, so we're going to be right around 700 feet a minute. Ballparking it, folks. That's what we do when we don't have a number here. We're going to ballpark it. So, that'll get us from the, boy, they don't even tell you where it's from. Usually it's from the initial fix, which is in this case D6.1 IGN, all the way in. But it doesn't even say that here. Boy, they're really, oh well. So Hiles 2 for the approach. So we got a full load of approach lights. PAPIs are on both sides. We got runway end identifier lights at the end. As we stated earlier, folks, decision altitude, decision height. Okay, when you're putting this into McDo, the MDA, I think it says, might say MDH, I don't know. That's mean sea level. So say you're going into Bogota. Well, it's already 8,000 feet above sea level, folks. So it's 8,000 whatever. Here we're below, so it's the bold 691. That's what's going to read on your altimeter. Now, the DA, which is what I think it says, but it could say DH, is above ground. They're both the same, folks. This is what gets people confused. Mean sea level is that which is above sea level. So the airport itself, let's kind of scroll back up here, is already at 469 feet above sea level. That's where the recorded point is for it. Okay. So when I land and my wheels are on the ground, at that point, it should read that number. Now, coming in 222 feet above the ground level, or otherwise we call it AGL, is 691. So you're there. Let me pull this away real quick so it really, I can hopefully bring this home. Okay, here's your altimeter. Say here, let me pan down a little. Wait, here it is. Right over here, right over here. You're setting it here, but your altitude is here. So when I hit 691 here, I better have already decided if I missed approach or not. Now, above ground level shows up on your radar altimeter. Some of the older planes, it's a gauge. Here, it's a part of your display. And that is going to be very close to that same number. In our case, I believe it was 222. Let's find out. Okay, and hang on, sorry folks. Yeah, 222. So 222 feet above the ground is going to equate to a mean sea level reading of 691. I hope that helps you all so you understand. And when you put it into the McDo, as we will here in just a few minutes or seconds, you'll see the difference. You can only put one in, so you have to decide which one you want to use. Okay, but that's also at this airport what the minimum requirements for your ceiling is. And the ceiling is a broken deck or an overcast deck. And those are recorded usually above ground level. Usually, I say. Some airports, it's different. Just like Russia and China use different RVSM numbers than the rest of the world. They want to be different, okay? So, but again, if our minimums are above this number or above this number and above this number, we're a performance D or C aircraft. So we need at least 550 meters showing. We're good to go. If you're a heavy, 600. That's what the D's are. Now, if we end with some lighting out of service, however, see the, the difference when you turn the autopilot, director, and all off. Yeah, it goes up. All right, so I hope that made sense, folks. So I'm going to go ahead, get rid of this right now. Actually, what I want to do Yeah, we'll just get rid of it for now. And let me take a look down here at the most important numbers. Perfect. We're within about 60 miles or so. We're going to begin plugging information into the McDo. All right, we're going to pull it right off METARS, right off SkyVector. Folks, that's another wonderful site out there for you to use. Hey, folks, it's free. You don't even have to register for it. Just log into skyvector.com. You can see your route on different types of maps and all from VFR stuff to instrument en route and low en route charts, sectionals, and all of that. So, and that's where I pull a lot of my METARs off. Although lately some of these airports have not been playing nicely. So again, hope y'all are having a great week. I know we're only Tuesday. We're only about a third of the way through the work week, and I hope y'all are at least having a great day out here in Europe. I know you're like, oh, thank God, Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday's hump day, folks. I know, probably next to Monday, one of the worst days of the week. But once you get over that hump, the weekend's right in sight, 2 days out. So, hope y'all have had a good day. And, you know, thanks for being a part of Flying with Mike. We appreciate you. And, you know what? I am going to do a quick system check because I did not do that yet. Let's get up here and get our fuel. Mainly the fuel is what I want to get done. Okay, so you can already tell we have an imbalance. Crossfeed on. Okay, so we're going to turn off the left side. Ding, ding. And now we're going to crossfeed over. Doesn't take long, folks, in this aircraft. The A320 can. This one, it'll catch up on you real quick. So I am going to kind of keep an eye on it because in this aircraft, I'm not sure if it's just the way ToLis modeled it or the real A319. It actually does put some fuel, not a lot, into the side the pumps are off, but it's basically how what's happening is the right side of the aircraft's fuel tanks are running both engines right now. That's what this crossfeed did, or crossfer, however you want to say it. And then when we turn them back on, then both sides are, you know, left side will feed the left engine, the right. Unless you keep the crossfeed on, then they're both working both. And there is stipulation for that when you're with the center tank and this and that and the other. But the nice thing is most of it's automated on this plane, so it's not hard. And we're almost there if you already noticed. And we got about 17 miles. So I'm going to go ahead and punch this up. Come up here. And we need to get to 2,300. Okay, and then I'll come down here. Whoop, went too far. There we go. Click fuel one more time. Good. All right, let's go through them real quick to make sure. Okay, we're green. Green on the bleeds. Valves look good on the pressures. Electricity looks good out of the generators. Hydraulics is good. We know the fuel system's good. EPOO is off. Looking good in the cabin temperature-wise. Doors or slides. Wheel covers closed. Brake temperatures look good. And the surfaces are good. Status none. And we're back to normal. At 80 miles. Let me bring this up. Alright. Up here, We're going to go next phase, next phase. All I'm going to do is pull from the airport. And we're going to pull 1, 2, 0 at 1. Unless we get an actual reading here in the next 10 minutes. Oops, I put it in the wrong spot. Right there. Sorry, folks. 1007. And I'm showing a temp 11. All right, now we're MDA DH. Do we need to go through this again? Sorry, folks. All right, so we're looking at 691. I think I'm going to put it in as the MDA. So it's the mean. I take the M for the mean sea level, MSL, and I use that to delineate these two. So 6, 9er, no. There we go. We are programmed for the descent. All right, and all right, I'm going to go ahead and put us back on perf. Okay, real quick, folks. One of the first things on the descent procedures are landing elevation auto. Right there it says it. Okay, we got the arrival completed. Okay. Here, let's take a look at it. Got time, folks. Okay. Again, it's going to be BGR to Banal. Got to get a few fixes to get into position here. Here we go. BGR. Oh, by the way, missed that every time we did this, folks. 10,000. We have an altitude and speed restriction. Max altitude of 10,000. My bad. And a speed no faster than 250. Banal no faster than 220. Believe me, we will be slower. Not because the chart tells me, but because we're only 13 miles out. So, all right. So, let's go ahead and set that 10,000. I don't know why we get that. I don't know if it's because it's planning a different profile than what's really here. I don't know. Now up here at Banal, 220. As long as we're under, we're good. And no other altitudes. Okay. And then, okay, so Banal. Now we're on the ILS. NAGSO. Unfortunately, they don't necessarily call them what we want. So, we look good to me. F-plan. Okay. All right, top of descent now. 58 miles. All right, so we're very close to starting down. Different type of flyby. All right. Again, 10,000's our first one. So we're dropping 27. So let's go 91 miles from there. I think we'll just use the hockey stick there that's telling us. All right, folks, sorry if just doing some calculations here. How many seconds I can close my eyelids before we get to the top of descent, or I have to reopen them. Yeah, I just came off the 24-hour shift, so I'm a little tired. But again, welcome in Megabitic. We sure appreciate you, and thanks for the follow. All right, we We are getting very close to top of descent. We are about 20 miles or so out. And I think at our next fix in 10 miles, we'll start our managed descent, transition into an open. To make sure we make, what's the identifier on that again? EGR. All right, folks. Well, as you figured out, we have gone past stop and descent. Yes, I nodded off. Hopefully not snoring too loud. First officer was asleep too. All right, so what we're going to do, so it's not so brutal on them. All right, we'll try that. I had a bad feeling that was going to happen, folks. It would catch up to me. All right, let's go ahead and start swinging it back, continued around.
18,000 feet.
Hang on a second, folks. I got distracted by the speed brakes being out. Roll it back around to roughly 240. All right, and that'll put us on track for Bisba. I am going to go ahead and put us back on managed 10,000. And try to stay awake. Okay, and what I did is I made us go direct Bisba. All right, again, my apologies for the little nap. Again, hopefully the snoring wasn't too bad. All right. Ugh. All right, we're about to level off at 10,000 feet. Now we're going to check our crossfeed. Is our crossfeed open? No. Oh, outer crosses, bringing the outers in. Okay. So what it's saying here, folks, outer tank feed in place, it's draining these, and it's like when the 747, we opened the reserves, feeds tank 1 and 4, same thing going on here. just feeding the main tank. All right. Partial loop out here.
10,000 feet.
And we're about to Bisba. And we'll stay at 10,000 feet to BGR. All right, folks, we're just about ready for the arrival. That would have been bad if I'd have been sleeping on the arrival. Sad thing is, the plane can land itself. It only cannot put the reverse thrust on. Give it time. And I do have land ahead. Only bad thing is the map mode doesn't show that on the radar. Alright, let's get through some of the check items here. Okay, we're at 10,000. When we start out at 10,000, I'll bring the landing lights on, hopefully. Let's see. Let's go, not yet, we'll wait till BGR here, or that big D. Then we're going to step down to 3,600 feet. And we will be slower than 220. All right, I'm going to go ahead and set up 3600. And we have already decelerated. All right, let's go. Right, finally, ND, let's go to N coaster, which is really constraints. Okay. Get some of the flavor of those higher terrain recordings and the items here beyond the flight path. Go ahead and get a notch out and get our lights on. All right, here comes the fun part, folks. All right, so we're gonna slow to 180. Just want to make sure we make it there so we're on profile. All right, we are coming around on final, folks. Okay, and as expected, we are on glide path and proceeding inbound at 9 miles out. Do not have any signs of a runway in front of us yet.
$2,500.
Okay, we have a 7,800-foot runway. Medium brakes ought to be good. We'll use reverse. I think I have an airfield in front of me and possibly a runway. Go flaps full. Lights are on, seatbelts okay. Go ahead and get the brake fan on.
Gear down.
Alright, final checks. Okay.
2,000.
Alright, cabin's ready.
$2,000.
Alright, I think I'm going to take over, folks.
$1,000.
1,000.
Got a bit of a crosswind here.
$500.
500.
$400.
400.
Alright, we're going to go ahead and call it stable.
$300.
300.
Minimum 200.
200.
100.
100.
50.
50.
40.
40. 30.
20. Retard.
20.
10.
10.
And welcome into Girona. Give me a second here to pull up the right chart now. Alright folks, and again my apologies for being quiet and well, unfortunately falling asleep there. That's my bad. We need to come off and alright. For some reason I thought they had jetways. And I was wrong. Alright, we've got the flaps up, spoilers down, radars off, brake temperature looking good. Keep the brake fans on a little longer. And let's get the EPU bleed on. There you go, folks. We are at our destination. Just a tad bit late because, well, we went into a hold and the pilot fell asleep. No, the hold happened after the pilot fell asleep so we could get down. Oh well, it happens, folks. Welcome to Flight Sim. And again, a reason why it wasn't on VATSIM. Alright, well, we are here. Just clearing up some charts here so we can get a better feel of what we got here. Let's go here and unload. Alright, and let me check what Mac Air brought us in at 311. Not bad. One last check. I like. Oops, wrong one. Before I close out. Perfect. Alright, again, folks, I'd like to thank you for being a part of Flying with Mike today. If you liked what you saw, we would sure love you to smash in on that follow button. YouTubers, hit subscribe. And hope you enjoyed the ride over from Slovenia to the east coast of Spain. Alright, so let's take a look at this landing, shall we? First, the numbers. Okay, it looks like Sim Toolkit didn't like me as much as our friends at Mac Air. That's okay. Okay, 410, let's see, what were the numbers? Remember I told you this is one of the features that are in Sim Toolkit? So what you do is you go to your logbook, click your whatever flight you want, folks. You can go all the way back to your very first flight in here and click away, and it will tell you, give you this box and show you what you did. So you can actually go back and see how you progressed. All right, so the landing speed was 124 for this flight. We hit at 122, so we pulled back on the throttle just a tad bit early. We were, and I knew this landing, going to be left of the center line by about 30 feet. So that's not good. But to our advantage, we have a 100-foot wide, 148 feet, so that's not too bad. 1,800 feet, however, down the 7,800-foot runway. Not bad either. We're in the landing zone. And what is the landing zone, you might ask, those of you new to aviation? Okay. This is a good runway. You're not supposed to land in this section here. Now, I don't know if this is delineated here, but I don't remember seeing it, that's why. But it's a displaced threshold, only for takeoff. So when you're taking off, you have more runway. Landing starts at this white line, threshold. Then every 500 feet, you have this hash mark. Now, because it's only 7,800 feet, you only get the one more. So technically, after those two bars, there should have been one, and that's it. So this would be 2,500 feet is all you would have on this. So, which makes sense, 7,500 feet, folks. That's 5,000 feet of landing zone on both ends. So, we touch down here. Think of these marks here like you would, as golfers have told me, and I love telling it this way, as you go down a fairway, supposedly bushes and trees and all are kind of positioned. Those that know, kind of know the distance away. Again, they're guesstimating, but still, gives them an idea. Don't know that it's true or not. No one ever told me that when I was golfing. But then again, it was kind of hard to judge distance from in the water. So, is what it is, like most golfers. So, but here you go. Pitch was 445, heading was off by 1, and G-force actually touched down pretty decent. All right, so that's the numbers. Hang on a second here, folks. Oh. Allergies, allergies, allergies. I don't think you all saw that. Doggone it. Well, we're going to show it to you just in case. All right. So what you would do is go to your logbook, like I have. Okay. Go to the flight you want to look at, view details, and that brings you up. My apologies, folks. That'll bring up a quick synopsis of the flight. The full landing report is here. Now, this is not provided by Mini, but it really gives you an idea. Where did you touch down? Oh, we're about to hope to see it, but this gives you an idea. Okay, let's get rid of Sim Toolkit. Okay, actually, let's get rid of Sim Toolkit. There we go. And let me close the airplane up if it isn't already. All right, let's just wait for the red lights to go off, orange lights, whatever you want to call them. There we go. All right, and do a quick look outside. No chocks, no nothing good. All right, now one thing that comes with X-Plane that does not come with Musfuss 2020. And it's this tool right here, Toggle Replay. And folks, if I wanted to, I could take this. Uh-oh. I think it locked up. Hopefully it didn't lock up completely. It did. Well, bummer. I could usually take it back and fly in. It is still kind of beta-ish, kind of full release. So that's why we sometimes get this. Well, darn. Hang on a second. All right, there we go. The black screen of death. Well, folks, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I wish we could show it to you, but as you know, these things do happen when you're live and in replay of a live broadcast. So tomorrow, like I said, we're flying out of Philadelphia. Check the Discord channel in the schedules, see where we're flying to. Also, it's down below here on Twitch, folks, in the oddly enough flight schedule. So, folks, I am going to just go ahead wrap this up, and we'll see you tomorrow. And hope for better skies, and hopefully I'll be more awake. God bless you all. Y'all have a great day. And as you realize with our verse of the day, for by him all things were created in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities. All things were created through him and for him. Jesus is Lord, folks. Just realize that. And I really hope you in your heart find out you need Jesus. You ask for the forgiveness he offers you from the cross and accept it, repent, and I look forward to seeing you in heaven. God bless you all, and I hope you all have a great day.